same issue as coming off the interstate. The first vision that people get of our city is Center Street, West Side Center Street.
Yeah.
It's not a good invitation.
Well,
and then all those vacant buildings.
It's much better if they come in from State Street, right?
So I'm hoping that
Yeah.
our new mayor really invests a lot in the facade and the image that we're giving to business people and
I agree.
our customers.
It would be really cool if every way that you came into Provo, you were impressed with Provo. And if you come in State Street right now, it's not very impressive. If you get up the freeway in Center Street, it's not very impressive. And we can do better than that. Good. Any more questions? Yes.
Is anybody working on a second avenue of exit or entry? We have Center Street, we have North, we don't have anything here.
Who's here from Grandview? Tell us how you feel about a Grandview exit. The reason I ask that is if you look at the map, it kind of takes you to Grandview. And Grandview is strongly, fair? Strongly opposed to a freeway exit there. I have seen some kind of designs that would let you exit there and then take you away from the Grandview area. And I think we need to look at some things like that. But you're right, one of the disadvantages Provo has that Orem cleans our clocks on are exits off the freeway. And it really would be nice if we had if we could find a place where it fit and would work in our city to have another third exit.
There's actually no exit to Provo from the north.
Yeah.
The people really recognize.
Exactly. Yeah, and it would be nice.
Question about the
Dennis, by the way, is a former councilman, so he's got all the answers.
Commuter rail and
Yes.
our transportation center. What is your view of looking at commuter rail and transportation?
Excellent question. Right now, let me just give a small explanation. The map right here, it's really hard to see, but if you want to come study it afterwards, I've drawn on it a couple of things. The blue line, which is here again really hard to see, is called Bus Rapid Transit. And let me just explain what that is. Many of you probably know. Bus Rapid Transit is a dedicated lane for a bus. You may have seen them in other large cities. So that bus does not have to stop the way a normal bus would stop. So if you normally get on a bus, let's say at the Provo Mall and tried to get to BYU, any students here know how long that would take?
About 30 minutes.
A long time. And you may have to transfer buses and things like that. The Bus Rapid Transit lets you go directly with very few stops in a dedicated lane so you're not behind other traffic. And it's really cool if you think about it coming to our city. It will help our economic development in a dramatic way. And I'm highly supportive of it because of that. It also will make it possible for our students. Robin mentioned earlier how we tend just to go to Orem to shop. It's one of those things that will help people stay here in Provo is if you've got a Bus Rapid Transit coming from BYU past downtown out to the mall, that helps us get people out there and helps it make it easier to shop there. So that's Bus Rapid Transit. Right now, the environmental studies, I believe, are complete. It's coming. It's not been funded, but I believe it's coming to Provo. It's something that we're going to see. They'll go down First West. They'll dedicate a lane right there, so it'll come down First West. Then it'll cut up, go along a little bit of 9th East, past BYU over to the stadium. And then here's the cool things. At one end, there's a big hub. They call it an intermodal hub. On the other end, there's an intermodal hub that hooks up to Front Runner, which will take you up to Salt Lake City. And so if somebody wants to come down to a BYU football game and avoid the traffic, they get on Front Runner up in Salt Lake County. They come down to the intermodal hub. They hop on Bus Rapid Transit, and they can get to the BYU Stadium in 45 minutes from Salt Lake. Not a big deal unless you're in the middle of BYU traffic. They can also get home in 45 minutes. And can you imagine what pressure that takes off of our streets with all those people riding those systems? So I think we're actually very fortunate, Dennis, to have those things coming into our community. I think we need to embrace them and plan for them. And here's another good example. This is one of the really good things the City Council has done. Is they have already zoned around the intermodal hub, called a transit-oriented development area. They've already designated that, so businesses can already start coming in and establishing themselves for when that hub comes in. And I'd like to just see us do the same thing along the whole route line, to plan for the businesses that will prosper because of that. It's a great thing. Chad.
John, what efforts are you going to take in regards to
community involvement, reaching out to people, accessibility to the residents of Fall.
That's a good question, and I think that's a big part of my Unity theme. Right now, there's several tenets, there's actually 8 of them, and if you get on my website, you'll see them, that are fundamental principles for me in the way government should function. And one of them is that government should always remember that they derive their authority from the consent of the people. That's where their authority comes from. And without that, they don't have any authority. And the other thing is that with that authority, they're supposed to protect the people, not rule over them. And I don't know, Chad, if that answers your question, but that's my view of government, is that it is truly there to service the people and be part of the people, to be accessible. Transparency is a huge issue, and something that we just have to have in our government, and a big part of it. And accessibility is huge. And I would hope that we could do some significant things there.
So for all of these issues that you talked about, what plan, you say we should have plans. What plans do you have?
Well, the very first thing I'd like to do is direct the department heads to come up with a 20-year plan. I want to see a physical plan on paper that looks ahead 20 years.